The bank of God is unlimited. Its vaults overflow with supply, waiting for the one who dares to believe. Every thought of lack, every worry of tomorrow, is only an illusion that blocks the door of abundance. In truth, there is no shortage in spirit. Divine supply flows endlessly, ready to pour through every channel that faith opens. When you stand in the consciousness of divine plenty, you become a magnet to blessings. You need not struggle, you need not strive, you only need to align with the law of faith. Say within yourself, I claim my blessing now. I accept my supply now. All that is mine by divine right is rushing to me in perfect timing. As you affirm, the invisible substance begins to take shape in your life. The world may show lack, bills, empty accounts, or closed doors, but the bank of God knows nothing of limitation. In this bank there are no overdrafts, no scarcity, no interest charged, only endless credit of love, health, joy, and prosperity. When you place your faith deposit into this spiritual bank, you draw from it without fear, knowing it is infinite. Faith is your signature on the divine check. Without faith, you cannot withdraw. With faith, nothing can be denied you. Speak the words of power. I now draw from the unlimited bank of spirit. I now receive my good. I am rich with divine ideas, rich with perfect health, rich with opportunities and favor. Then go about your day in expectancy, never contradicting your claim with words of doubt or fear. Every blessing you dare to imagine already exists. Spirit has already prepared the way for your good, your healing, your success. The key is to act as if it is already yours. The seed planted in your subconscious by affirmations and visions grows into form by your unwavering belief. Doubt digs it up. Fear freezes it, but faith waters it until it blossoms. You must also release resentment, envy, and criticism, for these clog the channels of divine supply. Bless those who prosper. Rejoice in the good of others. Give freely when guided. As you keep your heart open, the bank of God pours back into your life multiplied. Remember, the power of your word is law. Whatever you decree with conviction is established for you. Say, divine substance cannot be depleted. I am one with the infinite supply. Money comes to me in perfect ways. Opportunities unfold in perfect order. Health floods my body. Joy fills my mind. Hold these truths steady as a lighthouse, and storms of doubt cannot overturn your ship. Gratitude seals the transaction. Give thanks before you see the manifestation. Praise the invisible supply as though it is visible now. Gratitude accelerates the law of increase and opens the floodgates wider. The more you praise, the more reason you'll have to praise. The bank of God is unlimited, and it is your birthright to claim from it. Place your order with faith. Live in expectation. Act with joy. Forgive quickly. Give freely. And watch the windows of heaven open over your life, pouring out blessings so abundant you cannot contain them. The bank of God has infinite supply and never runs dry, and faith is the key to access it. This principle rests upon the understanding that divine substance is everywhere present, boundless, and inexhaustible. In the unseen, there is a reservoir of spiritual riches, waiting for those who know how to call it forth. Lack, limitation, and struggle are appearances only. They have no true power except the belief we give them. When you recognize that all supply originates in spirit, you lift your consciousness above the level of fear and begin to operate from the plane of abundance. This inner shift draws new circumstances, people, and opportunities into your life, reflecting the belief you hold within. The universe responds to your expectation, and when that expectation is rooted in faith, the response can only be in harmony with abundance. Faith is like a golden key that opens every vault in the divine treasury. Without it, the doors seem locked. With it, everything flows to you easily and naturally, as though it were always yours. Faith does not require evidence in the physical world, because it acts from the unseen into the seen. It is a living energy, a spiritual force that moves substance into form. When you decide to believe that the bank of God is unlimited, you stop clinging to the small channels of supply and start opening yourself to limitless channels you cannot even imagine. This may manifest as unexpected opportunities, inspired ideas, or simply a deep knowing that everything you need is already on its way. Faith turns fear into courage, doubt into certainty, and lack into plenty. It creates a spiritual atmosphere in which miracles are natural outcomes rather than extraordinary events. When you hold a thought long enough with faith, it becomes magnetic, drawing to itself its own fulfillment. The bank of God has no shortage of resources, for it is the very substance of life itself. Think of sunlight. No matter how much you draw upon it, it never runs out. Likewise, divine substance is infinite and eternal. You cannot exhaust it, you cannot deplete it, and you cannot be excluded from it unless you believe you are. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to receive a broadcast, your mind and heart must be tuned to the frequency of abundance to receive your blessings. Faith is the tuning dial. Every affirmation you speak, every image you hold, every act of gratitude you express, is a turn of that dial toward clearer reception. By consciously choosing thoughts of plenty, you align with the inexhaustible source of all good. When you acknowledge this infinite supply, you also free yourself from the illusion that others control your prosperity. No person, job, or situation is your true source. They are only channels through which supply flows. If one channel closes, another opens, and often a better one. This awareness removes fear and resentment, replacing them with confidence and peace. You no longer look at circumstances with anxiety but with curiosity, knowing that Spirit is orchestrating something greater than you can see. As you remain steadfast in faith, you find doors opening where there seem to be walls. Ideas arriving just when you need them, and people appearing at the perfect moment to help you move forward. Faith in the unlimited bank of God also transforms how you give and receive. Instead of holding tightly to what you have, fearing it will be taken from you, you begin to circulate it with joy, knowing more always comes. Giving becomes a statement of confidence in the infinite supply, and as you give, you create room for more to flow into your life. This circulation reflects the law of life itself. Everything moves, circulates, and expands. As you practice generosity and gratitude, you become a living example of the abundance you claim, and others are drawn to your vibration. Faith demands consistency. It is not a one-time declaration but a continual stance of mind and heart. When doubts creep in, when appearances seem bleak, you reaffirm your connection to the infinite source. You speak words of power even when you feel weak. You give thanks even before you see results. This unwavering stance builds spiritual muscles and strengthens the channels through which your supply flows. Over time, your faith becomes so solid that no outer circumstance can shake it, and blessings appear more rapidly, because nothing blocks their path. The bank of God's supply covers every area of life, not just money. It includes love, health, creativity, wisdom, protection, and peace of mind. Faith in this supply allows you to draw exactly what you need in the right form. One person may draw financial abundance, another healing, another inspiration. But all draw from the same source. This understanding helps you release competition and envy, because you see that another's gain does not diminish yours. There is no competition in infinity. The well never runs dry because there is no well. There is an ocean without shores, without end. To live in this consciousness, you can use affirmations and visualizations that declare your oneness with the infinite supply. For example, quietly affirm to yourself, I draw freely from the unlimited bank of God. I am supplied and supported in every way. Hold an image in your mind of yourself surrounded by light and abundance, receiving exactly what you need with ease. Let your imagination build a clear picture of the outcome you desire, infused with gratitude and certainty. These practices train your subconscious to expect good, and the subconscious then draws conditions to match your expectations. You may also practice replacing every thought of lack with a thought of abundance. If you catch yourself saying, I can't afford this, or there's not enough, immediately substitute, divine supply meets my every need, or I am provided for richly and fully. This retrains your mental habits and raises your vibration to match the frequency of abundance. Over time, this becomes automatic, and your outer life reshapes itself to mirror your inner conviction. Faith then ceases to feel like an effort, and becomes a natural state, as effortless as breathing. When you fully accept that the bank of God is infinite, you stop waiting for permission, validation, or the right time to claim your good. You realize that Spirit already gave you the right to draw from the bank when you were born. Nothing is withheld except by your own disbelief or feelings of unworthiness. By dissolving these inner blocks with faith, you open the floodgates of supply. You live with a sense of joyful anticipation, knowing that every day is rich with potential. Every encounter is a channel for good, and every desire of your heart is already known and accounted for in the infinite treasury of spirit. Faith is therefore the master key that unlocks the door to this supply. It requires trust, imagination, and persistence. It asks you to act as though what you seek is already yours, to speak words of abundance, while appearances contradict them, and to maintain gratitude while the manifestation unfolds. By practicing this consistently, you become attuned to the rhythm of divine supply, and see evidence of it in ways you could not predict. Your confidence grows, your fears diminish, and your life becomes a living testimony to the truth that the bank of God never runs dry, and that faith is the key to access it. Your words and thoughts are spiritual checks that draw from divine abundance, and every time you speak or think, you are writing instructions to the universe on what to deliver into your life. This truth rests on the law of mind action, the idea that whatever you impress upon your subconscious mind, with feeling and repetition, eventually expresses in the outer world. Just as a bank requires a properly signed check to release funds, the spiritual realm requires a properly formulated belief to release its blessings. Your inner dialogue, your mental pictures, and your spoken affirmations are the signatures on those spiritual checks. When they are written with faith, gratitude, and clarity, they draw forth precisely what you claim from the invisible supply that surrounds you. Every word carries a vibration and a creative power. When you speak of abundance, health, success, or joy, you are literally calling those conditions into form. When you speak of lack, illness, fear, or failure, you are just as surely writing a check for those experiences. The universe is impartial, responding only to the dominant vibration of your thoughts and words. This is why it is so important to choose your language carefully, and to watch over your mental conversations. Like a careful bookkeeper, you keep track of what you are depositing into the bank of your subconscious, because every deposit creates a return in your outer life. Thoughts are not just private images. They are living impulses of energy. They have a magnetic quality that attracts like energy from the unseen to the seen. A consistent mental picture, held with feeling, becomes a blueprint that spirit uses to shape conditions. When you imagine yourself prospering, healthy, and happy, you are drawing on the boundless supply of divine substance. When you imagine yourself struggling, rejected, or deprived, you are also drawing, but from a lower frequency of belief. Understanding this is the first step to mastering your creative power. It shifts you from a passive recipient of circumstances to an active architect of your destiny. The spiritual bank of abundance never runs dry, but you must present your check with conviction. This means using affirmations and mental images not mechanically, but with faith and expectancy. If you repeat words while doubting their truth, you cancel out their creative power. But if you repeat them with conviction, gratitude, and emotional engagement, you activate the spiritual law. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts whatever is impressed upon it, good or bad. Therefore, you must impress it deliberately with ideas of increase, love, and success until these ideas become your automatic pattern. Imagine walking into a bank with a blank check. If you write a small amount, you receive a small amount. If you write a large amount, you receive a large amount, provided the funds are available. In the bank of spirit, the funds are infinite. The only limit is the size of the check you are willing to write with your thoughts and words. Many people write tiny checks in life because they believe it is all they deserve, all they can have, or all they should ask for. Expanding your sense of worthiness expands the size of the check you write in consciousness, and the supply responds accordingly. You can begin this practice by paying close attention to the language you use every day. Do you say, "I can't afford it," or "I never get a break," or "Nothing ever works out for me"? Each of these statements is a check drawn on the bank of lack, and the universe will honor it. Replace such statements with, "I am divinely provided for, things always work in my favor," or "I am open to unexpected blessings." By doing this, you begin to write new checks on the bank of abundance, and over time your life reflects the new pattern. Visualization strengthens this process because it gives form to your affirmations. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, surrounded by plenty, experiencing love, enjoying vibrant health. Feel the emotions associated with having it now. This is like adding your signature and endorsement to the spiritual check. The clearer your mental picture, the more quickly the invisible substance takes shape in the visible. If you struggle to imagine it, start with small, believable images and gradually expand them. Each success builds your confidence and your capacity to claim larger blessings. Another key to writing powerful spiritual checks is gratitude. Gratitude aligns you with the frequency of receiving. When you give thanks for blessings before they appear, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. This act of faith accelerates the manifestation because it removes doubt and impatience. Instead of wondering when or how your good will come, you rest in the certainty that it is already on the way. Gratitude also multiplies what you already have, because what you appreciate appreciates. Watch also the casual words you speak to others. Conversations about lack, worry, or disaster reinforce those patterns in your subconscious and in the collective energy around you. By contrast, conversations about possibilities, solutions, and gratitude uplift your vibration and that of everyone you interact with. You become a distributor of spiritual wealth, planting seeds of hope and abundance wherever you go. Your words then not only draw blessings to yourself, but also inspire and elevate others, creating a ripple effect of prosperity. Be mindful of inner chatter as well. Many people try to speak positive affirmations while their internal dialogue is negative. This splits their energy and delays results. Whenever you catch yourself thinking or saying something contrary to your desired outcome, gently but firmly replace it with a statement of truth. For example, if you think, "I never have enough money," immediately affirm, "The bank of God supplies all my needs in perfect ways." This practice may feel awkward at first, but with persistence it becomes second nature, and your subconscious begins to accept the new truth. Consistency is more important than intensity. A few positive statements followed by hours of negative self-talk will not create lasting change. But steady, repeated affirmations, coupled with deliberate visualization and gratitude, will rewrite your inner programming over time. Think of it as training a muscle. Each repetition strengthens your spiritual power until it becomes automatic. This consistency is what turns your words and thoughts into reliable instruments for drawing on divine abundance. Belief in divine abundance also frees you from jealousy or envy. When you see others prospering, you bless their good rather than resent it. Knowing their gain does not reduce your supply. In the bank of spirit, there is no competition. Everyone can write as many checks as they wish without depleting the account. This attitude keeps your channels open and allows more good to flow to you, because you are not blocking it with resentment or comparison. Your words and thoughts also affect your body and health. Speaking of vitality, youthfulness, and strength impresses these qualities upon your subconscious, which then directs the cells of your body to align with the pattern. Conversely, speaking of fatigue, age, or illness impresses those patterns as well. Every time you affirm your wellness, you write a check on the bank of divine health. And over time your body reflects this higher vibration. You can also write spiritual checks for guidance and wisdom. When you affirm clarity, insight, and perfect timing, you open yourself to receive ideas from the infinite intelligence of spirit. Inspired ideas are forms of supply just as much as money or material goods. Acting on these ideas with faith and confidence leads you to the outer results you seek. This is how divine abundance operates. First as thought, then as guidance, then as tangible manifestation. Finally, remember that your words and thoughts are ongoing. Every moment you are writing checks. The question is, on which bank are you drawing, lack or abundance, fear or faith? By consciously choosing your inner and outer speech, you align yourself with the unlimited supply always available. As you do so consistently, the invisible becomes visible, the imagined becomes real, and your life transforms to match the vision you have held and spoken with faith. Gratitude and joyful expectancy accelerate the flow of blessings into your life, and these two forces are among the most potent keys to unlocking the unlimited supply of the bank of God. Gratitude is not merely a polite acknowledgement of what you have. It is a powerful magnet that draws more good into your experience. When you genuinely appreciate what is already present, you signal to the invisible realm that you are ready for more. This principle is simple, yet profoundly transformative. The more you thank, the more there is to thank for. Gratitude tunes your mind and heart to the frequency of abundance, aligning your consciousness with the infinite source from which all blessings flow. It acts as a lever, lifting you out of limitation and placing you firmly in the awareness of plenty. Joyful expectancy works hand in hand with gratitude. It is the confident assurance that your good is already on its way. Expectancy is an active state of faith. It is not passive waiting, but a deliberate decision to act as though your desire is already fulfilled. When you expect good with a cheerful heart, you send a signal to the universe that your faith is unwavering. This expectancy removes resistance from the path of manifestation. The universe responds not to what you wish might happen, but to what you believe will happen. Joyful expectancy transforms hope into certainty, and certainty into reality. To cultivate gratitude, begin each day by listing the blessings already present in your life. Look around at the small and large gifts that surround you: a roof over your head, a loving friend, health, a moment of peace, the beauty of nature. Each acknowledgement strengthens the vibration of appreciation. When you give thanks, speak your gratitude aloud or write it down. Let it fill your heart so completely that you can feel the abundance flowing through you. This feeling of fullness is the signal to spirit that you are ready for more. Gratitude must be accompanied by feeling. Mere words without emotion have little effect. True gratitude moves beyond recognition. It is a deep, heartfelt celebration of life itself and the infinite possibilities it contains. Joyful expectancy requires a vision of the outcome you desire. Picture yourself living in the reality you want, experiencing the benefits fully. Imagine the joy of receiving, the relief of problems solved, the satisfaction of accomplishments, and the freedom of provision. Let this vision fill your mind and heart with excitement and delight. As you hold this image with faith, you begin to inhabit the state of having already received. In that state, there is no fear, no anxiety, no doubt. Only a clear and unwavering sense that your blessing is inevitable. When your expectancy is joyful, it is like a beacon, attracting the conditions, people, and opportunities needed to fulfill your vision. Gratitude also purifies your heart. It dissolves resentment, envy, and complaints, which block the flow of abundance. Whenever you focus on what you lack, your vibration matches that lack, and your supply cannot reach you. But when you redirect your attention to what you already have and give thanks, you open a pathway for more to flow. Gratitude turns your mind into a receptive channel, a vessel ready to be filled by divine supply. The act of giving thanks, especially for things not yet seen, demonstrates faith and activates the law of increase. Joyful expectancy amplifies this effect. It is one thing to be thankful for what is already present, but it is another to be expectant of future blessings with a sense of delight. Expectancy creates momentum in the unseen, which then manifests in the physical realm. As you hold a confident, joyful expectation, your thoughts, words, and actions align with the conditions needed to receive. You begin to recognize opportunities that previously went unnoticed. People, situations, and solutions appear almost effortlessly, because your vibration matches the reality you are imagining. Both gratitude and expectancy require a conscious choice. Life will present challenges, unexpected obstacles, and moments that seem to contradict your vision. Yet even in these circumstances, you can choose to focus on something to be grateful for and to maintain joyful expectancy. Perhaps you are grateful for the lesson contained in difficulty, for the resilience you are developing, or for the support of friends and family. Gratitude in adversity keeps your channels open, allowing blessings to flow in despite appearances. Similarly, expectant joy in the face of delay or challenge reinforces your faith, keeping the law of attraction working in your favor. Expressing gratitude and expectancy outwardly magnifies their effect. Speak words of thanks for both small and large blessings throughout the day. Celebrate successes, acknowledge acts of kindness, and rejoice in the accomplishments of others. When you witness good in the world and express appreciation, You participate in the flow of abundance, sending ripples outward that return to you multiplied. Expectancy can also be shared. When you declare your faith in a positive outcome, you strengthen your own belief and inspire others, creating a collective field of abundance. Imagination is a vital tool in sustaining joyful expectancy. Visualize the end result clearly, as if it has already happened. Engage all your senses, see it, hear it, feel it, and even speak about it in the present tense. This practice trains your subconscious mind to align with the experience you desire. When your imagination is combined with gratitude for what is already present, you create a powerful magnetic field that draws your desires into manifestation. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. It responds to the emotional reality you hold. Consistency is the secret to deepening the effects of gratitude and expectancy. Make these practices daily habits, integrated into your routines and interactions. Begin your day with gratitude. Affirm your blessings throughout the day, and end the day by recounting successes and moments of joy. Similarly, practice joyful expectancy in all areas of your life. Whether it is abundance, health, relationships, or opportunities, maintain a confident belief that your good is on its way. Over time, this steady practice creates an inner environment of positivity and receptivity, a fertile ground for miracles to occur. Gratitude and joyful expectancy also transform your inner state, leading to peace, confidence, and freedom from worry. When you are truly grateful and expectant, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or the opinions of others. Your happiness and sense of fulfillment are not dependent on what is happening outside, but on the state of your consciousness. This independence strengthens faith, making it easier to trust in the infinite supply of the bank of God. You become a living example of the principle that blessings flow most easily to those who believe they already have them. The combination of gratitude and joyful expectancy creates a powerful loop. Gratitude opens the channels for receiving. Expectancy directs the flow, and the receipt of blessings further enhances gratitude and strengthens expectancy. This loop builds momentum that cannot be stopped, for it is anchored in the natural law of supply. As your awareness grows, you begin to notice an ever-increasing stream of opportunities, solutions, and resources that match your desires. You learn to recognize synchronicities and miracles as ordinary parts of life, evidence of the inexhaustible supply available to you. Gratitude and joyful expectancy also cultivate a generous spirit. As you experience the inflow of blessings, you naturally want to share with others. Giving in this state does not diminish your supply. Instead, it multiplies it. Acts of generosity, kindness, and encouragement are extensions of the law of abundance. When you give with a grateful heart and expectant joy, you participate in the circulation of divine supply, creating channels through which even more blessings flow back to you. This practice shapes your perception of reality. You begin to see the world as abundant, full of possibilities, and rich with opportunities. Fear, worry, and scarcity thoughts lose their hold because your attention is fixed on the supply and the certainty of its arrival. You become attuned to the subtle signs and prompts that guide you toward your desires. Your intuition is heightened, your decisions are aligned with your highest good, and your life begins to reflect the effortless flow of divine abundance. By living in gratitude and joyful expectancy, you align yourself with the infinite nature of the bank of God. You no longer view supply as something external, limited, or conditional. You recognize that all good is a natural part of life, flowing to you in perfect order, guided by divine intelligence. Your awareness of this abundance transforms every action you take, every word you speak, and every thought you hold, creating a continuous stream of blessings that touches every area of your life. This awareness allows you to release fear and doubt completely. When you know that gratitude opens the channel and joyful expectancy directs the flow, there is no need for anxiety or worry. You operate from a place of trust and faith, knowing that what belongs to you by divine right is already prepared and will manifest in perfect timing. The more you practice these qualities, the more natural they become, embedding themselves in the very fabric of your consciousness and reshaping your life according to the principles of divine abundance. Forgiveness, generosity, and positive thinking keep your channels of supply open, and these principles are among the most powerful tools for maintaining a constant flow of blessings from the bank of God. The moment you harbor resentment, anger, or judgment, you create energetic blockages that prevent abundance from reaching you. Forgiveness is not a favor you do for another, it is a liberation for yourself. When you forgive, you release the energy of past grievances and free yourself to receive without resistance. Every act of holding a grudge is like a closed valve on a pipeline of divine supply. The flow cannot reach you until you remove the obstruction, and forgiveness is the key that opens the channel again. Generosity functions in a similar way. The act of giving, whether it be time, money, knowledge, or kindness, signals to the universe that you trust in the infinite nature of supply. When you give freely, without attachment or expectation of return, you affirm that there is more than enough to go around. This release of control opens your heart and mind to receive in ways that are often unexpected and multiplied. The universe responds to the generosity of spirit, reflecting it back to you in increased abundance. Every gift becomes a seed, and every seed, when sown with love and faith, grows into a harvest beyond imagining. Positive thinking is the third essential element. Your thoughts are the architects of your life, and negative or limiting beliefs act as barriers to divine provision. Each time you replace fear, doubt, or pessimism with thoughts of faith, hope, and possibility, you open another door for blessings to enter. Positive thinking does not mean ignoring challenges. It means choosing to focus on solutions, opportunities, and the unseen possibilities that the mind of spirit has prepared for you. When your thoughts are aligned with good, your vibrational resonance attracts experiences, people, and circumstances that mirror that frequency. Forgiveness, generosity, and positive thinking are interrelated and mutually reinforcing. When you forgive, you release bitterness, which makes it easier to think positively. When you think positively, you see opportunities to give and to bless others, which cultivates generosity. When you give, you experience gratitude and joy, which deepen your capacity for forgiveness and sustain positive thinking. This cycle keeps the channels of supply open and flowing, allowing you to draw continuously from the inexhaustible bank of God. To practice forgiveness effectively, begin by acknowledging the feelings you hold toward those who have wronged you. Do not suppress or deny the emotions, but recognize them fully. Then make the conscious choice to release them, understanding that holding on only harms you. You may need to speak words of forgiveness aloud, write them down, or visualize releasing the person from the debt or harm they caused. Each act of forgiveness lifts a weight from your mind and heart, creating space for blessings to flow in. Forgiveness can also extend to yourself, releasing self-blame, guilt, or regret. Self-forgiveness is a powerful act that clears the path for self, love, success, and joy. Generosity is most potent when it comes from a heart aligned with faith. Give without strings, without expecting acknowledgement, and without measuring what you receive in return. The universe responds not to the quantity of your giving, but to the quality of your intention. Acts of kindness, encouragement, and financial support all serve as confirmations to spirit that you believe in the endless nature of abundance. By practicing generosity consistently, you train your mind to think in terms of supply rather than scarcity, reinforcing the belief that there is always more available. Generosity also strengthens your sense of connection to others and to life itself, dissolving the illusion of separation that often creates fear and limitation. Positive thinking requires vigilance and intentionality. Your mind will naturally drift to old patterns of worry, criticism, and doubt unless you consciously redirect it. Begin by observing your thoughts throughout the day. When you catch a negative or limiting thought, pause and replace it with a constructive, faith-filled alternative. For example, replace, "I will never succeed," with, "I am guided, supported, and capable of achieving my highest good." Replace, "I cannot afford this," with, "I am divinely provided for, and all my needs are met in perfect ways." Repetition of these positive statements trains your subconscious to accept new, empowering beliefs, which then manifest in your life. Another key to sustaining these principles is alignment with your emotions. Forgiveness is most effective when it is accompanied by genuine feeling rather than mere intellectual agreement. Generosity flows most naturally when it is joyful rather than forced. Positive thinking is powerful when it carries conviction and emotion rather than being a superficial exercise. The combination of thought, word, and feeling creates a harmonious resonance that the universe cannot ignore. When your inner state matches your declarations, supply responds effortlessly and abundantly. You can also extend these practices into daily interactions and decisions. Look for opportunities to forgive quickly, to give freely, and to focus on solutions rather than problems. Each interaction becomes a chance to reinforce your connection to the infinite supply. By consistently applying these principles, you create a life in which abundance is the natural and expected state. Others are drawn to your energy. Doors of opportunity open more readily, and your path becomes aligned with divine timing. Forgiveness also liberates your creative power. When your mind is unburdened by resentment or grudges, it can focus on innovation, problem solving, and envisioning new possibilities. Generosity opens channels for cooperation and support, bringing resources and allies into your endeavors. Positive thinking fuels persistence and resilience, allowing you to move forward with confidence even in the face of obstacles. Together, these qualities create a fertile environment for the manifestation of your desires. It is important to understand that these practices are not about denial or suppression. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior, and positive thinking does not mean ignoring challenges. Instead, they are deliberate choices to release energies that block abundance, and to cultivate energies that attract it. They empower you to move from reaction to deliberate creation, from scarcity to plenty, from limitation to freedom. By maintaining this alignment, you become a living demonstration of the law of divine supply. Consistency is essential. Just as a river requires a steady flow to reach its destination, your spiritual channels must remain open through regular practice. Make forgiveness, generosity, and positive thinking daily habits. Begin each morning by releasing any residual negativity, setting intentions for giving, and affirming positive beliefs. Throughout the day, observe your thoughts and words, correcting and redirecting as necessary. In the evening, reflect on the blessings received and offer thanks. This daily rhythm strengthens your faith and keeps the flow of divine supply uninterrupted. In addition, understand that these practices influence not only your own experience but the environment around you. Forgiveness can heal relationships and dissolve tension. Generosity can inspire and uplift others, and positive thinking can create an atmosphere of hope and possibility. As you cultivate these qualities, you contribute to a collective field of abundance, amplifying the flow of blessings for yourself and others. Your energy, directed by forgiveness, generosity, and positive thinking, becomes a magnet for divine opportunities. Situations begin to resolve more easily, people respond more favorably, and challenges become stepping stones rather than obstacles. You start to notice that life itself appears to conspire in your favor, bringing resources, ideas, and support in perfect timing. The more consistent and heartfelt your practice, the more pronounced these results become, reinforcing your confidence in the infinite nature of the bank of God. By living in this state, you create a virtuous cycle. Forgiveness clears the path, generosity opens your heart, and positive thinking guides your actions. Each element supports the others, producing a momentum that cannot be stopped. Your mind, body, and spirit align with the vibration of abundance, making it easier to recognize and claim blessings as they appear. Every thought, word, and deed then becomes an instrument for drawing from the infinite supply available to you, strengthening your faith and your capacity to receive. These principles also cultivate inner peace. When you forgive, give, and think positively, fear, worry, and tension lose their grip. You experience a freedom that allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that the flow of supply is constant and reliable. This inner peace enhances decision-making, creativity, and resilience, reinforcing the continual manifestation of your desires. As you embody these qualities, your life becomes a testament to the truth that divine abundance is always present, and that the channels remain open when you live in alignment with these spiritual principles. Act as if your blessing is already here, and watch spirit manifested in perfect ways. For this principle is the very essence of faith in action. To act as if is to live in the consciousness of having received, even before any physical evidence appears. It is a declaration to the universe that your faith is unwavering and that you fully trust in the invisible laws of divine supply. When you embody this state of expectancy, you align your thoughts, words, and actions with the reality you desire, creating an energetic blueprint that attracts the circumstances, people, and opportunities necessary for manifestation. The key is to feel the reality as already present, to move, speak, and make decisions from that place of assurance. Living, as if, requires imagination and a clear mental picture of the outcome you desire. Visualize yourself surrounded by the blessings you seek. Imagine the joy, the relief, the satisfaction, and the freedom that accompany your good. Engage your senses fully. See the scenes, hear the sounds, feel the sensations. Taste the fruits of your success, and smell the atmosphere of accomplishment. This detailed mental rehearsal impresses your subconscious mind with the certainty that your desires are real, and your subconscious then begins to orchestrate conditions in your life that correspond to that vision. Acting as if is not mere wishful thinking. It is deliberate alignment with the law of faith. Every thought, word, and deed should reflect the state of already having received. When you pay bills, make plans, or interact with others, do so from a mindset of abundance and confidence. Conduct yourself with the dignity and assurance of someone who knows that Spirit is already providing, that doors are already open, and that everything you need is flowing to you in perfect order. This attitude sends a powerful signal to the universe and activates the law of attraction in your favor. Faith in action requires consistency. You cannot simply declare, "I act as if," once or occasionally, and expect lasting results. You must persistently live in the consciousness of your blessing, day after day, until it becomes a natural and effortless state. Each moment of alignment reinforces the blueprint in your subconscious, strengthens your belief, and clears away doubts that could block manifestation. The more consistently you act from this perspective, the faster and more perfect the manifestation will appear in your physical experience. An essential component of acting as if is the careful monitoring of your thoughts and words. Your inner dialogue should match the state of having received. Replace any negative, fearful, or doubtful statements with affirmations of faith and abundance. Speak as though your provision, healing, opportunity, or success is already here. Say, "I am provided for. I am surrounded by good. Everything I need is flowing to me now." These statements, repeated with conviction and feeling, become powerful checks drawn on the infinite bank of God, and the universe honors them accordingly. Emotion plays a critical role in the effectiveness of acting as if. Faith without feeling is weak and may produce delayed or incomplete results. When you act as if your blessing is present, you must also cultivate the corresponding emotions: joy, relief, excitement, and gratitude. These emotions amplify your vibration, making your mental and spiritual checks more magnetic and attractive to the invisible supply. Feeling the blessing now is equivalent to signing the check with authority and authenticity, ensuring that Spirit responds swiftly and completely. Action inspired by faith also matters. Acting as if does not mean sitting idle, waiting for miracles to fall from the sky. It means taking steps that align with the reality you are creating. Opportunities, ideas, and inspired decisions naturally arise when your consciousness is focused on already having your blessing. Acting on these promptings demonstrates your readiness and cooperation with divine intelligence, accelerating the flow of supply. Even small, consistent steps taken from faith carry a force far greater than large actions driven by fear or doubt. Consistency in outward behavior reinforces inner belief. How you carry yourself, how you handle resources, and how you interact with others should all reflect the consciousness of already having received. Dress, speak, and move with confidence and grace, as if the circumstances you desire are already part of your life. Treat your work, relationships, and daily tasks as expressions of the reality you are claiming. This outward expression strengthens the inner conviction, creating a feedback loop that supports manifestation. Gratitude is a companion to acting as if. When you express appreciation for blessings already received, both seen and unseen, you reinforce your belief and open channels for more to flow. Gratitude signals to Spirit that you recognize and accept the abundance in your life, thereby accelerating the arrival of additional blessings. By combining gratitude with acting as if, you merge feeling and faith into a powerful magnet for supply. The universe responds to this alignment with precision and generosity, often exceeding your expectations. Acting as if also transforms your perception of obstacles and challenges. When you live as though your blessing is already present, difficulties are no longer threats, but temporary appearances that do not diminish the reality of your good. You approach problems with confidence and creativity, knowing that your provision, guidance, or solution is already on the way. This perspective changes your experience of life, turning fear into curiosity, frustration into opportunity, and delay into preparation. Imagination, faith, and feeling combined with action form the trifecta of manifestation. Imagination creates the blueprint, faith assures its reality, and feeling energizes it. Acting as if completes the process by aligning your behavior with this inner reality. Each of these elements supports the others, creating a coherent field of expectancy that draws your desired outcomes into physical form. When practiced consistently, this method produces effortless results because it works with the natural laws of spirit rather than against them. The discipline of acting as if also involves releasing resistance, doubts, complaints, criticism, and comparison all weaken your magnetic power. Each time you notice a negative thought or word, you have the opportunity to replace it with a statement or action that reflects the reality you are claiming. This continual adjustment keeps your consciousness clear, focused, and aligned with your intention. By removing resistance, you allow the invisible supply to flow unimpeded into your experience, making manifestation more certain and rapid. Acting as if is not limited to material or financial blessings. It applies equally to health, relationships, creativity, peace of mind, and spiritual growth. Picture yourself living in perfect health, surrounded by loving relationships, experiencing clarity of thought and inspiration. Act from that consciousness in every decision, conversation, and choice. Your mind, body, and spirit respond to this alignment, and the outer world conforms to the inner state, reflecting your invisible reality in tangible form. Joy is the fuel that sustains acting as if. When you feel joy in anticipation of your blessings, you elevate your vibration and strengthen your connection to the infinite supply. Joy communicates to spirit that you are in harmony with the law of giving and receiving. It is not dependent on circumstances, but is generated from within, anchored in the certainty that your good is already secured. The more joyful you are in the process, the more rapidly your desires manifest, because joy dissolves resistance and opens the heart to receive fully. Confidence and persistence are also necessary components. Occasionally, appearances may contradict your vision, but acting as if requires you to maintain steady belief. Consistent, unwavering alignment with the state of having received ensures that your spiritual checks are honored and your manifestation proceeds unhindered. Doubt or hesitation weakens the signal and delays the flow, but confident persistence keeps the channel open and the current of supply moving steadily toward you. Acting as if ultimately changes your identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone waiting for supply, but as a recipient of the infinite abundance of spirit. Your sense of self expands to include wealth, health, success, love, and every blessing you desire. This identity shift strengthens faith, reinforces positive thought patterns, and aligns your actions with the natural flow of the universe. By living in this conscious state, you embody the principle that your blessings are already present, and you become a living magnet for all that belongs to you by divine right. This practice integrates every aspect of your life, making your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions coherent with your highest vision. As you act from this state, spirit moves in perfect harmony with you, orchestrating events, people, and opportunities to manifest your good in ways often beyond your imagination. You become a channel for the limitless supply of the Bank of God, demonstrating that faith, imagination, and feeling, combined with deliberate action, are the keys to effortless manifestation.